Encore une fois, nous vous souhaitons la bienvenue au Palais des Sports de Trècheville, précisément à la salle polyvalente du Parc des Sports. Nous allons suivre la deuxième rencontre de cette journée d'âme. République centrafricaine contre l'Ouganda. Et nous allons commencer la présentation de l'équipe de l'Ouganda. Number 1, Grace Nakalembe. Number 2, Maria Namyonga. Number 3, Afsa Kyomwendo. Number 4, Rose Sundi. Number 5, Shivan Wesigwa. Number 6, Rotina Nyamispa. Number 7, Mary Kazel. Number 8, Amaya Mauya. Number 9, Sherifa Agada. Number 10, Vegas Maria Lee. Number 11, Elizabeth Ekokwe Aminat. Number 12, Mary Masi Melissa Saliba. Coach John Davis Omoudi. Équipe nationale de la Centrafrique, numéro 4, Suzy Elina Congo. Numéro 7, Esther Dominico. Numéro 8, Alissa Marianne. Numéro 9, Bembele Dibine. Numéro 10, Edita Gardiane. Numéro 11, Komli Mabe Dewe. Numéro 12, la capitaine Warema Vanessa. Numéro 13, Lavodrama Louisa. Numéro 14, Edwige Cabo. Numéro 18, Elisa Dembélé. Numéro 20, Mariam Kamara. Numéro 21, Melvina Kokerang. Coach Stéphane Yongo, assisté de Poli Grand Ndeguinan. Commissaire de ce match, Madame Pele Karna de Mozambique. Arbitre en chef, Silver Umbeji du Bénin, assisté de Joyce Akosu, Nigeria, et Shuran, Mozambique. Nous allons nous lever, s'il vous plaît, pour les hymnes des deux pays et on commence par l'hymne de l'Ouganda. Merci. L'hymne national de la République centrafricaine.
The audio on my side is better now. Check 1, 2, 3, check 1, 2, 3, 4, check 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Good afternoon. Good afternoon from Treichville. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's go. Welcome back just in time for the tip-off between the Central African Republic and Uganda. You're watching AfroBasket, the under-18s from Côte d'Ivoire. And we are just about ready to get things underway. Silver Hongbeji from Benin is your crew chief for today. He'll be assisted by umpires Joyce Akusu and Carlotta Shuran. There's John Amondi, head coach for Uganda. Stefan Yongo is his counterpart from the Central African Republic. And CAR controls the tip and moving from right to left in white here in the first period. And that's an ominous opening for the Central African Republic. They've had a lot of turnover trouble throughout this tournament. They've had difficulty in maintaining pace with opponents, and a lot of it has come down to just an absolute overflow of turnovers. Hopefully, maybe that will get the yips out as Uganda puts up a three-point attempt from Taliba, their leading scorer. And now a second chance on offense for the Central Africans. Running one-hander, falls short of target. Ball is batted out of bounds. Navina Kokarang to inbound for the CAR. Pardon. I wondered. I thought Uganda should be in possession. Kokarang fooled me into thinking that, in fact, the Central Africans had possession. Now they do. Still, nobody's been able to open up their account on the score sheet. Good ball transition. Here's a chance. In and out, fighting for the rebound. And now, transition that just went a little bit too fast for the liking of Mary Segendo. Unable to track the ball down. It's really a story of two different tournaments for these two teams. Uganda arrived here with some genuine ambition, having finished fourth in the 2024 version of this championship. The Junior Gazelles opened up in impressive fashion. They beat Kenya 84-57. And then they were brought crashing back to earth by host nation Côte d'Ivoire, falling 80-44. Uganda maintaining possession, tried to slot one inside. It caroms out to the perimeter, and a good mid-range shot from Mary Segendo to get Uganda up on the board first, and this could be an additional 2 points. Unforced error, turnover. Another mid-range shot, just a little bit long, and the ball goes out of bounds. So Uganda looking to respond today after that drubbing they took at the hands of Les Elephants and strengthen their position in the race for the quarterfinals. Rose Musundi is pacing the young Gazelles with an average of 21 points a game. And Melissa Taliba is been producing double-double numbers, 15 points, 10.5 rebounds average per contest. Grace Nakalembe, she's the organizer for Uganda. She's averaging 8 assists and an extraordinary 6.5 steals a game. So for the Ugandans, a chance today to strengthen their case for the quarterfinals. As they work the ball into the low post, hard fought for basket. And now getting a little bit scrappy and getting down on the paint is Melvina Kokarang. She's unable to secure the basketball for the CAR. Inbounder for Uganda. Working the ball back to the near side. Nakalembe. And yeah, with time running out on the shot clock, they had to throw one up. Of course, it's reset now. Another chance for Uganda off the offensive rebound. And perhaps a transition basket? No, just not. Couldn't get it to go for Gongo. Uganda moving quickly. Lots of turnovers on both sides so far. And there, lovely ball in transition. Lovely basket for Susie Gongo. Susie has been averaging 4.5 points a game so far. Of course, that's not a bad number because considering that the Central Africans have had trouble scoring in general. They've only been averaging 24.5 points a game. That set off against Uganda's 64 does not bode well, but you never know. You can grow in a tournament, and certainly the Central African Republic has grown in this tournament. They improved their performance from their day 1 to day 2. Another opportunity for a transition bucket. Off the glass and just a little bit too strong. And a foul called on Melvina Kokarang. And as it would have it, Uganda, of course, comes in with a 1-1 record. CAR 0-2. Well, if CAR would win today, why they would tie Uganda on record and would, of course, on head-to-head, be placed higher than Uganda. Uganda would then have to rely on third place, best third place finisher, and they don't have that complete in scene. And of course, we won't know that until the last 2 games of today have been played. But better to take the bull by the horns and control your own destiny. Uganda gets numerous attempts, and now finally will have slightly more restful opportunity to score a couple of points from the free throw line. So for the Central African Republic, Vanessa Dokowani is their leading scorer. As we watch the free throw attempts. Taliba with a so far an unsuccessful trip to the free throw line. This, of course, is what's going to be the big challenge for the Central Africans, is to break that Ugandan pressure. That's an over and back. That's a four-court violation. And that's, of course, what that pressure will do to you. And Uganda likes to play the pressing game. CAR will have to find a solution to get the ball up into the forecourt if they're going to have any modicum of success today. Rose Muzundi, the leading scorer for Uganda. Well spotted and a lovely long pass that found Gongo streaking up court. And we're all tied up at 4. Gongo inbounds, gets it back. Some good things so far from this outfit. Okawani, their leading scorer. Working in the paint, trying to navigate through the talls in there is Animat. So Josephine Aminat will go to the free throw line to shoot a couple. Trying to pick up her own rebound, managed to do so and makes amends for the lack of performance at the free throw line. Picks up a field goal, another steal for Uganda. Take the lead here on this stolen possession. Sigendo, unlucky. Dangerous pass, but manages to find Taliba. Taliba with a second chancer, and she's got it, and Uganda springs back into the lead. CAR breaking that press. Shot from the perimeter. Just won't fall for Dokowani. Pace has really picked up, as has the ball handling, and it's turned into a very attractive ball game here in the early going. Lovely stroke, and a three-pointer for Muzundi. Substitution for Central Africa as Kokoran checks out of the game. In the meantime, Demele is checked into the ball game. Cross-court pass. Off the glass, a little too strong. Uganda Moves the ball over the timeline. Out to the perimeter. Three-pointer up, no good for Nanyonga. In the meantime, has also made her presence on the court. Maria Nanyonga, 17-year-old, averaging 6.5 points a game. Good block and a good steal, just couldn't finish. Uganda's pressure is really rattling the Central Africans. Mary Sengendo is fouled. Sengendo plays for the Victoria She-Crocs. Sengendo, a reliable third scorer on this outfit. And the lead is now 5 for the Ugandans. Belvia Cabo says if you're going to get the basket, you're going to have to earn it the hard way. As she steps in and fairly vigorous defense against Rose Musundi. Timeout called. Gives us an opportunity to remind you that this is the second of 4 games in the women's competition today. Earlier, we saw Morocco defeat Benin by a score of 59-45, and coming up after this matchup at 4 o'clock UTC, which is also the local time here at the venue, 6 o'clock Central European time, Kenya will take on host nation Cote d'Ivoire. And we'll wrap up the women's tournament today at 6:30 p.m. UTC. That's 8:30 on the European continent between Mali and Egypt. The Kenya-Cote d'Ivoire match is en français, and we'll wrap up with Mali and Egypt in English. All here, live and exclusive on the FIBA YouTube channel. Back at the line, Rose Musundi. She nails the second one to make the lead a half dozen. And there's that relentless pressure from the young Gazelles, and it pays off once again. Waste no time getting a shot up. Ball goes out of bounds, and a reprieve for the Central Africans. Chased down there by Cabo. Foul. Substitution for Uganda as well as the CAR. kicked out beyond the arch, and a bit of range finding needed for Dokawani as she's a bit short on her three-point attempt. I can assure you there are not 72 minutes remaining in the first quarter. We got a small glitch on that score bug. 2:05. If you're in question, you can just look on top of the basket. And with 2 minutes to go, Uganda, a short jumper. That would have been a lovely transition basket. Three-pointer off the mark, and Rose Mazundi managed to grab the loose ball, but was fouled almost immediately. And she'll head to the line to shoot a couple. Bende also checked into the ball game, wearing number 9 for the Central African Republic. And unforced error from Uganda. And a foul. Second team foul against Uganda. They've been few and far between as we wind down action here in the first quarter. 1:13 left to go. Now I see the trick. There's just a 7 that's been placed out in front. Maybe that's for luck. Lucky number 7. Now, not the best shot from Pende. Devine will have to settle into the game. Good rebound. And plenty of time. Had the right idea, did Dokawani, just couldn't get Pende on the trot. However, ball will remain in possession for Central African Republic. Three-pointer, that would certainly aid the effort. Just can't get it to fall. Uganda with 37 seconds remaining. Well, it ends up being a good strong rebound for Belvia Cabo. Lost the handle, but it went off a Ugandan player. And with half a minute remaining and about 20 and 24 on the shot clock. CAR could close out the first quarter on a very positive note. Down by 8 is not awful. Down by 6 would have been better. Now a chance for Uganda. Perhaps extend the lead before the quarter break. I believe she must have towed the line there. It would have been her heel, of course, but out of bounds against Uganda. So with 11 seconds remaining, CAR have the chance for one more shot before the buzzer. Well, that's another way to do it. Nothing wrong with that. Draw the foul and take 2 unhindered from the free throw line. So the free throw from Uganda, Mariana, is the last point of the first quarter, and that closes the margin to 7 points. So absolutely a very positive start for the CAR. Uganda will be filthy about some of the missed opportunities, so many turnovers and unable to convert. But of course that would also apply to the Central Africans, as they had a number of chances for baskets in transition, which they were not able to round off. We'll take a quick break and start things back up in the second quarter. You're watching AfroBasket 2026 from Abidjan in Côte d'Ivoire. Back underway with Uganda holding a 7-point lead in the second quarter. Cabo to inbound for the Central African Republic. Lovely assist, absolute cracker of a inbounder. Rokawani finishes, and it was a real classy inbound. Deficit cut to 5. Mid-ranger, tough shot to make. But not if your name is Epende. Lovely mid-range jumper to cut the margin to 3 points. And what a difference we're seeing from the Central African Republic. Unforced error, travel against Uganda. Chance to get even closer, if not equalize. What a lovely start for the team of Stefan Yongo. And John Amondi has seen enough, and he's called his team over to the sideline on a timeout. So a wonderful start to the second quarter for Lefova, as the CAR teams are known as. A moment of consternation for the young Gazelles from Uganda. Musundi from Uganda leads all scorers with 6. Penda has 4, and Gokawane has 5 for the CAR. The CAR ball out of the timeout. Interested to see if they can maintain that tempo. More importantly, the momentum they set in the opening minute of the second quarter. Yep. Pressure. Causing a mistake. Not costly, though, and here's a transition possibility for CAR. Well, 2 sloppy possessions out of the break so far. Let's hope that they haven't lost the magic touch they began the quarter with. It's Uganda work against a half-hearted pressure from the Central Africans. Inside the arc, shot up for 3. Just missing the official signal there, whether he saw that as a foul or a jump ball. One thing is certain, we seem to have an injury on the play, and that's, of course, very unfortunate. That's Hafusa Chomahendo. Taking the opportunity to talk things over with his ladies. Youngo, 46 years old, bringing the CAR to their first U18 women's AfroBasket since 2004. Uganda to inbound off the injury timeout. Swarming defense from the CAR. Open shooter. Can't get it to fall. Retrieved by Uganda, kept in bounds, and here's another shot from distance. They'll get a third crack at it. Or will they? No, they won't. Here's a transition basket. Can she lay it in? No. Unfortunate. That was a wonderful opportunity. Trailer. Also not successful. Disappointing offensive possession in transition for the CAR. Now fouled. Sometimes that happens. The frustration, unable to convert a given opportunity, and then the need to get the ball back as quickly as possible can lead to those unforced errors and fouls. After some precarious rolling around the rim, the ball finally deposits itself. And the and 3 is made possible by Melissa Taliba, pardon. Thrown away. It's going to be a backcourt violation when it's picked up. Substitution for the CAR. Long inbound toss to Taliba. Taliba goes from shooting mode into defensive pressure mode just that quickly. Here's a 2-on-1 opportunity, and the pass just wasn't pure enough. And they are scrapping for everything they're worth today. Leaving nothing to chance are the Central African Republic. And headed to the line to shoot some free throws is Melvina Kokarang. Her real specialty is rebounds. There's absolute elite rebounder, averaging 10 a game so far in the tournament. Kukurang. And this is the first of 2 free throws. Difference still 6 points. Uganda moving quickly, perhaps too quickly, as Musundi could not get the handle. To inbound, she left it a little shy. Oh, she wants that back. Yeah, that was a classic. Capitalized on quickly by Mary Sengendo. Sengendo with a real classy finish on that one as well. And CAR needs to be careful. These are the kinds of runs that can really turn against you quickly. Another 2-on-1, just like that. Wisely taken by Gongo. Nothing wrong with that. And valuable 2 points for the Central Africans. Kokoran wait a little bit too long to find an outlet, and she gets tied up. Pressure proving very difficult to deal with for the CAR, but they've done a much better job today than they have in the previous 2 outings. And that is certainly a huge positive. Kind of a prayer thrown up there by Gongo, a little bit off balance. And they'll have yet another 2-on-1. And with a positive result, this time it is Ngananam. Uganda, their lead down to 4. They'd like to extend it, and they will. Back to 6, thanks to Taliba. Turnover, how costly might it be? Well, the answer is 2 points, courtesy Mary Sengendo. Three-pointer would certainly aid the effort. Far off the target line. Down into low post, Taliba cannot convert, and the ball disappears over the sponsor boarding. Cross-court pass. Just a little bit over 5 minutes remaining to play here in the first half. Sengendo waits for the opportunity to inbound the basketball. Double substitution for the CAR at the midway point of the quarter. That's our first look at the Haima ball. Shifra, the Amabai, checking into the ball game wearing number 11 for the CAR. Valuable three-pointer for Demele. Turnaround for Talita will not go. There's another new entrant into the lineup for the CR. Goes crashing down to the hardwoods. That's Miriam Kamara, number 20. Well, it was a classy transition, bringing the ball back up the floor. Good dish to the perimeter, and three-pointers. We haven't seen many of them, but when they fall, they're going to hurt a lot, especially when they come off of a change in possession. Another basket for Nakalembe. Grace has 5. Top of the key. Lost possession. Nakalembe circumnavigating. Can't get it to go, but she'll have an opportunity to shoot a couple. Coach Omondi calling his team over to the side while the captain, Grace Nakalembe, faces her free throws, at least for the first toss, alone. And now we've got a proper timeout. And I'm not sure who called that one. But with 3:49 to go, there is a timeout called. That's the answer to your question. CAR called the timeout. Coach is trying to fire up Kamara. Meantime, that Ugandan lead has grown to 11 points. And I'm sure that is what Stefan Yongo is hammering into his young charges. Ladies, we've got to run with them. We've got to stay with them. We've got to finish on those transition baskets. They're giving us opportunity after opportunity, and we're not taking advantage of it. For Coach Omondi, Uganda, I'm sure he's also not 100% satisfied with the output, but maintain that defensive pressure, and chances are very good you're going to create a lot of opportunities. You just need to convert on them, and the more we convert on them, the bigger the lead that we can build up. And in the meantime, that lead is now 12 points, thanks to a good trip to the free throw line from Grace Nakalembe. Well, it was the right idea, but that was always going to be a difficult pass to make. As a wide open Dokawani was a very attractive target indeed. The window of opportunity just closing a bit too fast. However, still in possession, CAR. Not for long. 3 against 1. And the pass just a little too much float. Lovely cut to the basket on that play by Mary Segendo. As it were, she'll have to earn her points from the free throw line. With 3.5 minutes to go here in the first half of play. second one right on target. Zigendo, in the meantime, the leading scorer for both Uganda and the match. There's a lovely little follow-up by Chimohindo. A little bit of a prayer thrown up there by Uganda, which goes unanswered. Classy finish. Well done, Belvia Cabo. Under 3 minutes to go. And I made a grievous error earlier. My sincere apologies to Melissa Taliba, as she is in fact the leading scorer. I wondered how we could account for all those points. She's on 11, which leads not only the young Gazelles, but also the field as well. That was a strong turnaround that was shut down as Taliba decided to mix it up inside with the bigs from the CAR. She'll have to go to the free throw line if she's going to get any points out of this offensive possession. Taliba plays her club basketball for Budo SS. Anchor there in the interior. Makes the lead 17 now for Uganda. With 2.5 minutes time indeed for the CAR to kick it up a notch and try to do a little something about that deficit before heading into the dressing rooms. That won't help the effort. Lovely assist, but not that one. It was just a thrown away ball. Nakalemba ran out of options and ends up throwing the ball away, but they'll get it back just as quickly. With just over 2 minutes remaining. Aha, yeah. That inbounder was just a little bit too late because the inbound recipient was already on the line. That's going to be a turnover and an opportunity for CAR. Once again, so difficult to break this pressure. Immediately trapped and immediately tied up. It's got to be extremely frustrating, but they're going to need to be a little bit more patient, and the throw into a double team was not the best weighed option on the inbound pass, my humble opinion. Taliba adding to the already impressive output this half. Violation and a turnover, and CR runs the risk of really heading into halftime on a negative note. It's also unnecessary. Up until a couple of minutes ago, they were really playing good basketball and a really improved standard, and they need to find that momentum back, and it would certainly be handy to find it before the half. For now, an opportunity from the free throw line for Uganda. That from Wasigwa. Shivan Masigwa makes the lead an even 20. And Uganda looking now to pile it on. Well, that was really a good solution for Taliba. Patient, she found Nakalembe. And these are really costly baskets now. Uganda has really found their stride. And that just before the half. If they can keep this up, they will take a lot of momentum into the locker room. Musundi. Really has been the team leader for the young Gazelles here in this tournament. Even though she's only the fourth leading scorer on the floor for Uganda. On 7 at the moment. Nakalembe on 8. Sigendo on 8 as well. And Taliba leading all scorers with 15 points in the first half of play. Nakalembe found a willing and open target underneath in Chomuhindo. Three-pointer from distance, misses. Kokaran. Just to be a little bit more careful on the inbounds, and I didn't want to jinx Melvina, but that I did. Love the attitude though. Grab the ball and get right back to business. Passed through the lane, just didn't have quite enough zip on it. As Zapenda ends up in a tie-up on the floor. So with 26 on the game clock, 24 on the shot clock. Uganda up by 17, 27 rather, pardon. CF wishes it was 17. That was a while ago. Second chancer is no good. And the third is upcoming. Oh, Kokaran, what are you doing? It was your ball. Almost mercifully, the end of the second quarter. It's really been a tough sled for the CAR. It all got away from them after such a valiant start and such a brave first quarter. But what you do see is that the that the ladies from the Central African Republic are battling. And they're out there to learn the game of basketball. A wonderful experience. I expect more of the same in the second half. For Uganda, they finally got in their groove, so to say. They found their stride, and boy, the CAR really is going to have their work cut out for them in the second half to keep this one really getting out of hand. So let's see what they're able to do and discuss in the halftime and what kind of motivation they can bring back out on the floor for the second half. We'll take about a 15-minute break and we'll be back to resume activities here from Abidjan with the third quarter. At halftime, Uganda 47, the Central African Republic 20. You're watching the under-18 women's AfroBasket from Côte d'Ivoire. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Abidjan for the second half of this matchup between the Central African Republic and Uganda. Things were close up into the end of the first quarter play, and in the second, Uganda took a commanding 47-20 lead into the halftime break. Score after one was 15-8, and CAR came out of the blocks in the third quarter to score the first 4 points and cut the margin to 3. But after that, it was really all the young Gazelles that turned steals into transition opportunities and outscored the CR 32-12 there in the third, and there's more of the same. As Rose Musundi, leading scorer of the tournament for Uganda, but not the leading scorer so far in this matchup, as Taliba has paced all scorers with 15. There's a good basket to get things started for the CAR. Three-pointer will go a long way to getting the Central Africans back into the match, or at least keep pace, which would probably be the objective. Anyway, just to run down some of the scores, Taliba leading all scores with 15. Nakalembe and Mary Sigendo both have 8. And CAR has done their share of scoring. Yokawani leads the team with 5 at the interchange. So the challenge for the CAR is pretty clear. They've got to protect the basketball, and they need to break the Ugandan press. Too many possessions have just ended before their offense could even get started up for the Central African Republic. For Uganda, more of the same. Pressure the ball, attack in transition, continue feeding Taliba around the basket, as she has been so effective inside the paint tonight, this afternoon rather. And really down to the CAR, as they show that they can compete when they're playing organized basketball. And we'll see how things pan out here in the third quarter from Taishville. For now, it is Melissa Taliba at the free throw line. Very, very tough sledding for CAR to get the ball up into the forecourt. Uganda not taking any pressure off whatsoever. Kokarang, we've seen that so often, just running out of options and deciding to perhaps try to draw the foul, but it's perhaps not the most effective basketball. Needs to get rid of the basketball quicker off the rebound. There she turns it over, throws it right in the hands of Nakalembe. Tied up several times off good, strong rebounds. She needs to know that that Uganda defense is going to swarm, is going to trap, is going to reach in and tie her up. Ball shouldn't stay in her hands for longer than the second post rebound. 29 points to lead now for the young Gazelles, as Uganda are known. Had another effective three-pointer from Uganda, this time from Rose Musundi. Musundi is now on 13 points, closing in on Taliba, who stands on 16. Once again, don't forget, plenty more women's basketball coming to you from AfroBasket 2026. Following this game, home side Cote d'Ivoire will lace them up against Kenya, and we'll close out the session and the group stage this evening with a matchup between Mali and Egypt. So Kenya, Cote d'Ivoire starting at 4 o'clock UTC, which coincidentally is the time zone of Cote d'Ivoire. That would be 6 o'clock Central European Standard Time. And the nightcap will start at 6:30 UTC, and that, of course, is 8:30 on the European continent. Kenya Cote d'Ivoire will be presented en français by Gabriel Pontel, and we will close out with an English language broadcast brought to you by Carleen Bullock. Malik Daho got us started earlier today with the first installment of the tournament today, and that was the matchup between Benin and Morocco, which saw Morocco win that match. Final score was 59-45. Picture is back. Sorry for the interruption. Just a bit of a technical snafu. We are back with live pictures from Abidjan. Now, not the worst strategy for CAR at this point is to hang up threes and hope for the best. Because if you want to make a dent in the score line, that's certainly going to be the quickest way to do it, if not the chanciest. If you look at the halftime stats, nothing in there is going to surprise you viewers at home. They were dominated once Uganda got their stride in the second quarter by Uganda. Perhaps the most telling were the points off turnovers, which for CAR were simply killing 37 points off turnovers. Those are now actual stats, not just halftime. One thing the Central African Republic did very well was defensive rebounds. They out-rebounded Uganda by a count of 27-18 from the perspective of defensive boards. Offensive boards were quite a different story, with Uganda out-rebounding the Central Africans by a 24-5 clip. So with 6 remaining, still a commanding lead from the young Gazelles. Over and back, the violation. Ugandan ball. Lead continuing to grow and swell in favor of Uganda. 36-point lead in the interim. One thing that has not dissipated from the team from the CAR is the competitive spirit. The ladies are still out there fighting for what they're worth. And once again, the accomplishment for the CAR was already being here at the tournament. Absent since 2004, this squad from Stéphane Yongo has certainly plenty to be proud of, no matter what the results of their 3 games at the group stage are. And steady improvement seen throughout. Basket by Segundo. And that's a valuable 3 points for Suzy Gongo. Running one-hander, tough shot to make. Well, they say practice makes perfect, and that was a very good press beater. They're getting better at it. And you see the enthusiasm. Heads aren't down. It's really fine to see. And at this level, that's exactly what the meaning is. Some have come to this tournament with the dreams of winning the tournament and perhaps qualifying at some point for the World Cup next year in the Czech Republic. For the ladies from the Central African Republic, they've come here to compete and to learn and to hone their craft. And I'll tell you what, nothing wrong with that craft. Suzy Gongo getting very crafty indeed. The 18-year-old who's been averaging 4.5 points throughout the tournament. Doing very well for herself this evening. She leads the CAR scoring with 12 points now on the afternoon. And she just couldn't get the handle on that one, or she may have been on her way to 14. Nakalembe bringing the ball over the timeline. Turnover. Nakalembe coming back to reclaim what was rightfully hers in her mind. Playing a little quarterback and throwing the ball upfield, and a touchdown for Uganda. Nakalembe to Taliba. Lovely, classy finish. Not putting the ball on the floor wisely. Demele with an absolute beauty of a finish. And here's another opportunity. Up and, oh, just unlucky. Just unlucky for Dokowani. But just going back to that absolutely lovely lay-in by Elisa Demele. I don't know why I have so much difficulty with that second syllable. My apologies, but I certainly wanted to call her out for what's one of the prettier baskets of the second half. And somebody who's made a lot of pretty baskets today. Lisa Taliba. errant inbound pass is the spoils for Uganda. Ball movement, but they'll need to put something up, and that they do. Three-pointer. Courtesy Sivan Mwesigwa. Pity that. CR has really been on a run. Maybe they can recuperate that. As I put the jinx on their offensive possession. They've been chipping away and whittled that lead back down to 26. Largest margin so far. That's coming back from 38. So for a stretch here in the third quarter, the latter part, the Central African Republic were doing very well for themselves. Thank you very much. The steady performance of really all the Ugandan players, including this Josephine Aminat, have just taken their toll on Le Fauve. Substitution for Uganda. That explains the confusion. I had a roster change, which was not appearing on the official game roster, and I'll get back to you on that on a second, but I've now figured out where the error took place. CAR back in possession, three-pointer. That will not go unmolested as Mwesigwa was not going to give any free passes. So in fact, for Uganda, number 11 is Atima. There was a double. There were 11 was noted twice on my roster, and number 6 is Chohumendo Hafusa Chomuhendu. And we'll try to keep that straight throughout the rest of the match. And apologies to friends and family who were wondering what in the heck I was seeing. That's now been amended. Doesn't change the score any for those of you rooting for the Central African Republic, I'm sorry to say. But I'll tell you, that score line is absolutely nothing to hang your head about. And who knows? They put on a run here in the third quarter that got them back in the ball game. Let's see what the fourth quarter might hold in store We'll have to do a lot less of that and more of this. Just a little bit over a half a minute left to go here in the third quarter. Uganda trying to finish strong, carry the momentum into the last stanza. Good scrap for the ball by Chimuhendu. Third quarter. Taliba still leads all scores with 16. There's Musundi on 15 and Segendo on 15 as well. "15 seconds left to go and identical amount of time on the shot clock, and a travel will end that offensive possession. Two dozen points separate the two teams going into the last 5 seconds of the third quarter. Ball lost out of bounds. And that is the end of the third quarter. So the CAR making a run of it midway through, but then fading out towards the end of the quarter as Uganda has really taken the reins back in their own hands and lead the affair by a fair bit as we move into the fourth quarter play. We'll see what the CAR has in store for us in the fourth and see how Uganda will close out their group stage play right after a short break. Back live for the fourth quarter, where Uganda will take a 68-34 lead into the last stanza. And for the CAR, the third quarter represented their best offensive period of the game, scoring 14 points. Uganda still ended up winning the quarter by a count of 21-14. Susie Gongo was really kind of the spark there in the third for the CAR. Scored 10 points in the period. Now she's leading Lefova with 14. Uganda still forcing a lot of turnovers, though, in the third. Final 10 minutes for Uganda are going to be about maintaining discipline and that tenacious defense. Manage that rotation and close this game out professionally. And for the CAR, the goal is going to be slightly smaller, but still important. They want to protect the basketball and build on that third quarter offense they showed and finish with confidence. And for my part, so enjoyable to watch the Ugandans when they are on their game. It's a very good squad they've brought here to Cote d'Ivoire. We'll look forward to seeing them in group play. And I think we can all take pleasure in watching the ladies from the CAR compete and maintain a good positive attitude. If you watched the bench area at the quarter break, no long faces, just attentive and smiling and encouraging each other, and really a wonderful thing to see. So from both teams, such positivity to watch. And we'll enjoy the fourth quarter all the same, all knowing that barring the miracle of Abidjan, Uganda will improve their record to 2-1 and advance from the group stage. And the CAR, while they may go home winless, will have gained valuable experience and have improved across the board their game of basketball. Zero letdown on defense for CAR. And from the free throw line, Olivia Atima, correctly identified. Had a tough afternoon at the free throw line, going 0 for 4 thus far. Patience is a virtue, and no better example of that than Elisa Demela. Coach John still up and at it. Patrolling that sideline, making sure there's no letdown. John Omondi, coach for Uganda, is not a Ugandan. He's a Kenyan, 44-year-old, and has worked throughout East Africa, schools, universities, and senior club basketball. He's also coached at the Budo Secondary School, where Taliba is a student athlete. And they won the African Schools 3x3 gold in 2023 under the tutelage of John Omondi. Musundi from the line. In the meantime, has tied Taliba as leading scorer both for Uganda and the match, both on 17. Gendo, 15. Nakalembe, 8. Mashigwa on 6. And that output, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned it. I'd be remiss if I didn't, but that spurt from Susie Gongo catapulted her into leading scorer for the Central African Republic, and she's got 14 next to her name on the score sheet. It was a mighty third quarter for Gongo. Especially considering the 18-year-olds only averaged 4.5 points a game, which was good enough to make her the second best scorer on the squad. 7 3/4 minutes remaining here in the ball game. Looking ahead to this afternoon, don't forget 2 more matches yet to come here from AfroBasket 2026. Following this game, the matchup between Kenya and Cote d'Ivoire, and we'll round things out in the group stage with Mali going against the Lady Pharaohs of Egypt. So a lot riding on that match coming up with Kenya and Cote d'Ivoire, as that will, Kenya on 1-1, will be a big decider in the fate of Uganda. Whether Uganda can take second place and have a ticket already punched automatically for the next round, or have to sweat it out and see if point differential and head-to-head will be enough to qualify them as a top third place finisher. Quite able to get the handle on it cleanly was Taliba, and then she ends up getting company down there on the paint. Everybody wants the basketball. And if you think the young ladies from the Central African Republic are tired of playing basketball, that's proof positive. That's the furthest from the truth. In and out for Nakalembe. Just unlucky. As Kokorang will come back into the game. Good on the strength of her game. Rebounds, had 6 on the afternoon so far. Not going to get a second chance at it, are they? Window of opportunity closed very quickly on that transition. Once again, a well-officiated ball game. A very international crew from Benin, Nigeria, and Mozambique. I always like to take the opportunity for a public service announcement, and that's if that sort of thing interests you only in the slightest, pursue it, and I encourage you to pursue it. The game of basketball, like any other sport, frankly, throughout the world, needs good officials, needs enthusiastic officials. And it's an avocation rather than a vocation. But the most important thing to me is the opportunity to be part of and to help the growth and sustainability of the great sport of basketball. So if you're at all interested, he has a lovely basket. He is netted by Ipenda. If you're at all interested, contact your local federation or through your local club. Possibly even some opportunities through your school or your university. Get online and find out where you can take a course. That would have been a lovely little quick two-pointer for Uganda. Just couldn't quite get the luck of the roll. There's another call signaled in from that very competent officiating crew we've had today, and for my part throughout the tournament, and a well-organized tournament as well. Can't say enough about the LOC in Cote d'Ivoire. We've had wonderful pictures. Tip of the hat to everybody involved on site, from camera work to switching. We haven't had it here at the ladies' games, but at the men's games, we've had a fellow with a boom mic who allowed us to sneak into the huddles, and that's just been absolutely fascinating. And you don't even have to speak multiple languages to get into the enthusiasm of what's going on in the timeouts. But just an absolute joy to be working with the production crew. And of course, who can forget the good folks at Spalk who bring you the audio. And I certainly hope you've enjoyed the basketball through the group stage. And of course, more of that to come on the FIBA YouTube channel as we go to the playoffs. Lovely call, by the way. Speaking of officiating. Sylvain Hongbej from Benin with a little bit of flair, and not too much. Not trying undue attention to himself, but making a definitive call. Uganda looking to finish things out. Good Chance to practice the threes in game condition. And Kokorang gets tied up yet once again. Tenacious rebounder. Yes, we know that trick. We know that old trick now, Malvina. You go out there and expect the referee to hand you the ball. I like that. Good strong move to the bucket by Melissa Taliba. 17-year-old has certainly proven her mettle today. Tough competitor, good athlete. Speaking of good athletes, here comes another one. Just a little bit unlucky, got a little bit too deep before she put up the shot, but now she's got another chance to keep this offensive possession alive. I believe we had a lane violation there. Too long camping out in the paint. Well, I understood the idea. And a very animated Melvina Kokorang says, you didn't get what I was trying to do. And that's exactly what happened. It's been a tough contest for the CR to break that Ugandan press, and there they end up finishing up very nice on a well-organized transition. And it's just good to see somebody like Melvina Kokorang still out there competing. She's fired up. That's not the score, by the way. The score is 81-40. In case you're tuning in late, Uganda leads 81-40. Very important note to make, that score bug is just stuck. I'm sure we'll get that adjusted with 4:23 yet to go in the ball game. And some people drifting in, of course. Next up are the home side. Les Elephants from Cote d'Ivoire will take on Kenya. And that should be a very good match. Encourage you to watch that. Francophile or not, Gabriel Pontel will handle the commentary, but the basketball will speak for itself. And if you speak French, it'll only be that much better. But don't miss that ball game. And Louisa Lavodama, who we have not seen this evening, has come in. She's wearing number 13 for the Central African Republic. And with that, I think that everyone has played in the ball game. Timeout for Uganda. Coach Omondi wants to make sure that everybody's on the same page. Finish strong, finish professional. $39-point lead. It hasn't been flawless for sure. There will be, if the opportunity arises, if Uganda places, there will be much to discuss and much to work upon. But I dare say that both teams and all the participants have improved their game as a result of being here in Abidjan for AfroBasket 2026. And we'll look forward to seeing these young stars progress in their basketball careers, and perhaps at the next stage of competition. Not all that many, but very few 18-year-olds on the squad for Uganda. Two only, which would be Atima and Sharifa Agaba, who we did not see today, I don't believe. Yes, we did. No, we didn't. My apologies. for the CAR, 1, 2, 3, 4 players, including Gongo, Depende, Lavodrama, and Cabo. With note that Hafusa Chumuhendo is a 15-year-old, so we will see more of her at the U18 level for a while to come. If she does her homework and works hard. That's the thing about no position is granted. And depending on how the team is run, you're only as good as your last performance, and there's always plenty of other youngsters who would love to have your spot on the team. That's what keeps international selection basketball so vibrant and interesting. It's also difficult. It's also taxing, to be sure. But for character building, an overall positive, I would say. Just over 2.5 minutes to go. Gives us a chance to run down the scoring leaders, especially for Uganda. Demele takes a couple of free throws, nails the second one. For Uganda, Musundi is the leading scorer and leads all scorers with 22. Taliba 19. Singendo is on 16. And the rest of the points distributed amongst 4 other players. Susie Gongo, after that fantastic third period, has fallen silent, but will have at least 14 points on the score sheet when it's all said and done. Leading scorer of the tournament until today, Dokuwane has 7. Demele with 7. Benda with 6. And the rest distributed among 4 other players. As Kokoram managed to get herself up on the score sheet. She now has 2. Won't be a third on this trip. As we approach the 2-minute mark in the ball game. Point shot thrown up. Coach Amundi is not calling off the press. And we talked about this, and I know that the debate would be really, but with the opportunity to move into or move out of group play into the playoffs, you go with what got you here. And you're a pressing team, you're an aggressive defense team, and you're going to continue to practice. This is 2 extra minutes of practice leading on to the next stage. You can also look at it from that perspective. I don't know if that'll placate everyone. Probably won't by a long shot, but that's just my take on it. And I get it. I also get the counter argument. And also, quite frankly, the point differential is going to factor heavily for Uganda. I don't think they're looking for any kind of run like Susie Gongo had in the third quarter to put a dent in the 40 points they've mustered. Those are 40 hard-earned points in differential that they may soon need very badly to get out of the group stage. Oh, just couldn't finish it. It was a very well taken possession. Just couldn't finish it off. From distance, nope. Under a minute left, and no let up whatsoever from this CAR defense. Outgunned, to be sure, in all facets, but showing the competitive spirit. So after being roughed up a bit, Olivia Atima will shoot a couple of free throws. It's not her, that wasn't her first time getting up off the hardwood slowly. She's been knocked about in this game. They tried to push it up the floor very quickly. Taliba launched one in the direction of Atima, hoping to convert on a fast break. Kokarang loads up and launches one up court. Unfortunately to no avail, as we're now under a half a minute. Toughest shot in basketball for my money. Nakalembe with that little mid-range from the side. Exactly what you want to see from the game officials. Professional to the final whistle. Could you let that go? Yeah, you could, but why? Also come here to hone their craft. This isn't a vacation for the officials. It's a reward for the hard work they've done back in their own countries and receiving the nod and the selection to represent at the international level. But once you're here, it's hard work. And a lot of dimensions to it too. It's certainly prestigious. It's certainly, I'm sure, I say it's not for fun. And I'm sure there's a lot of fun involved, as I know I've been involved in officiating through most of my life, and I've been involved in international officiating. But it's also hard work, and the added dimension of such an international group and being able to function in a three-person unit with people from very different cultural and geographic backgrounds. And on the one hand, it takes a certain type of person to be able to do it. On the other hand, if you can do it, it's very enjoyable. If you can't do it, it's not enjoyable and you won't be very effective, and you probably won't be invited back to the next tournament. But that's the nature of international officiating. And just another reason that if you're remotely interested in doing that, in officiating the game of basketball, look into it. And the younger you are listening to this message and this plea to become involved in the game of basketball, and I'm talking to you two good players. You've got days when you're not playing. You're not too good to officiate. Nobody's too good to officiate. Look into it. Get involved. If it's not for you, also good. But give it a thought. That's all I'm saying. 13 seconds remaining. Thus endeth the sermon. And nearly the ball game. Another shot for three. Would have been nice to finish on a positive note. But as it turns out, the clock will expire and bring an end to this matchup. And I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did. Despite the score, I told you the reasons before. It was a pleasure to watch the Ugandan team play their brand of basketball. Aggressive defense, pressing defense. Lots of very good athletes on that squad, and I am not partisan, but I would certainly love to see them in the next stage of play. And let's see how things pan out in the final two games and the final standings. And for my part, it was also a pleasure to watch Lefova play to the very end, and also with a very strong first quarter and a very strong third quarter. And if they isolate those two things out, the CAR will have had a very positive game today, and I'm sure that will be the message from Stefan Mungo in the locker room after the game. Heads high. The folks back in Bangui can be very, very proud of this squad. They're shouting Bamara, and they are enjoying the fact that their representatives did such a good job to represent them. Stay tuned. We'll be moving, of course, to a different YouTube channel. Just back out and find the link for Kenya versus Cote d'Ivoire. That will be en français. Gabriel Pontel is warming up in the wings, and he will guide you through what should be a perhaps a more evenly matched game, and a very exciting one with big implications for Group A. And I'm sure the Ugandans will also be watching very closely to see how their fate is cast. They don't have all the strings in their own hands, but hopefully they'll be able to get through as well. So for now, we will take our leave from this broadcast with a final score of Uganda 86 and the Central African Republic 43. I bid you adieu from Abidjan in Cote d'Ivoire. Until the next time, bye-bye.